What if I told you that the ancient Egyptians had a dark side, which they kept hidden for thousands of years? Prepare to be amazed, because scientists have made revolutionary discoveries that change everything we thought we knew about this mysterious civilization, the Rosetta Stone. In 1799, a group of scientists accompanying Napoleon on his military expedition stumbled across a discovery that would change the world forever, the Rosetta Stone. This ancient relic dates from 196 BC and contains a decree written by a council of priests affirming the right of the 13-year-old pharaoh named Ptolemy V to rule Egypt. But what makes the Rosetta Stone so remarkable is that this decree was written in not one, not two, but three languages: hieroglyphics, Demotic, and Greek. At the time of its discovery, only the Greek language was known, making deciphering the other two languages an impossible task, until scientists realized that the Greek inscription communicated the same decree as the other two languages, allowing them to crack the code and unlock the secrets hidden within the hieroglyphic and Demotic texts. Today the Rosetta Stone is in the British Museum, but not without controversy. Egyptians have repeatedly called for the stone to be returned to their homeland, sparking debates over cultural ownership and the importance of preserving history. Hawara's Labyrinth. Welcome to the mysterious and impressive world of ancient Egypt. The Hawara Pyramid is a structure in the desert built by the third pharaoh Amenemhat. It is known as the Black Pyramid due to its rough appearance, and is built with bricks and stones. But most interesting is the underground complex called the Hawara Labyrinth, discovered in 2008. This labyrinth, mentioned by Herodotus in ancient times, has mysterious chambers and could change our understanding of ancient history. It is said to contain 12 courtyards covered by gates and chambers in and below the ground, but only the upper chambers have been explored. The underground chambers remain a mystery. Ancient aquatic dinosaur. The Sahara was not always a desert, as the boundaries of the sandy areas have shifted over millions of years due to climate change. Scientists are investigating the history of the Sahara and have discovered evidence of an ancient river carved into an underwater canyon off the coast of Mauritania. This indicates that the world's largest drainage basin originated in the Sahara. The fluvial sediments and the remains of this river support the theory that the Sahara had an aquatic presence in the past. A recent study reveals that in the past, the Sahara was home to enormous marine animals, some of which were terrifying giant aquatic monsters. This discovery, supported by evidence, shows that the Trans-Sahara Seaway, a prehistoric body of water, flooded areas of West Africa between 150 million years ago. For 2 decades, scientists studied the soil and fossils in Mali to better understand its prehistoric environment. They found that a warm, shallow ancient body of water was home to 40-foot sea snakes and 5-foot catfish, with the largest catfish being 160 centimeters. At that time, numerous top predators, such as crocodiles and giant snakes, existed in this prehistoric ecology. This ancient body of water, known as the Inland Sea of the Sahara, connected regions that are now Algeria and Nigeria. The isolation of this body of water may have reduced the presence of predators and ensured constant resources, allowing the species to spread unchecked. This isolated environment may have promoted selection for gigantism in aquatic species, similar to what was observed on terrestrial islands. New understanding of mummification. We used to believe that the ancient Egyptians mummified their dead to preserve their bodies, but researchers at the Manchester Museum say this is wrong. According to them, mummification was done to guide the deceased towards divinity. Victorian researchers were wrong to believe that the Egyptians mummified like we preserve fish with salt. Actually, the Egyptians used a natural mineral called natron that was found near the Nile and was used in temple cleansing and rituals, as well as mummification. This discovery will change what we know about mummies. Shave off his eyebrows when his cats died. The ancient Egyptians had a close relationship with their cats and considered them sacred animals. Cats became an important element in daily life and Egyptian religion, so much so that a feline goddess called Batet, the protector of the home and family, was created and temples were built in her honor. In addition, cats were prized for their ability to catch mice and other pests, helping to keep homes and fields clean. The death of a cat was a very sad and painful event for the Egyptians, and the tradition of shaving off their eyebrows was a way of showing their deep sorrow and respect for the life of their feline friend. The practice of shaving the eyebrows also spread to other pets, such as dogs, although to a lesser extent. Today this custom may seem strange or even extreme, but it is a testament to the love and respect the ancient Egyptians had for their animals and how they considered them an important part of their lives. Golden tongues. Archaeologists in Egypt found mummies with golden tongues in an ancient cemetery near Qina. Gold was believed to help the deceased transform into divine beings in the afterlife. These mummies were also buried with other grave goods, such as necklaces, pottery, and gold scarabs. The golden tongues and eyes are examples of the ancient Egyptian belief that the flesh of the gods was made of gold. Although not a new discovery, it is still fascinating and intriguing. This discovery has reignited the fascination with ancient Egyptian beliefs and rituals, and it all points to a complex belief system that we are still learning about. But as we continue to unearth these mysteries, it's hard not to wonder if some things are better left buried in the sands of time. Bathing in sour milk. The ancient Egyptians, and especially Cleopatra, were known to bathe in sour milk, typically donkey's milk, to improve the appearance and texture of their skin, and it makes sense why it would work. Today we know that sour milk contains lactic acid, which is a naturally occurring hydroxyl acid that peels the surface of the skin so that new, more evenly pigmented skin cells can be generated and take their place. In the case of Cleopatra, it has been said that 7,000 donkeys were needed at any one time to provide enough milk for her daily baths. The 16 hands. In Egypt, the excavation team discovered 16 human hands buried in 4 separate pits. But that's not the strangest thing. They are all right hands, no left hands. According to experts, this is the first physical evidence of an ancient practice in which soldiers cut off the right hand of their enemies and exchanged it for gold. The 2 pits found in front of what is believed to be a throne room contained 1 hand each, while the other 2 pits contained the remaining 14 right hands. These wells were built in a space outside the palace at a later date. Cutting off the right hand of an enemy had a symbolic purpose of taking away their strength and power eternally. The director of the excavations at Avaris, Dr. Manfred Byatak, explained that the right hand was specifically chosen to facilitate counting the victims. The Hyksos, who ruled Egypt between the 16th and 17th centuries BC, are believed to have introduced this practice. However, no records of this practice have been found among the Hyksos north of Canaan, so it is uncertain whether the Hyksos borrowed it from the Egyptians or vice versa, or whether it originated elsewhere. The discovery of these hands is chilling and offers a glimpse into the ancient world of war and violence. They sacrificed and mummified crocodiles. While archaeologists discovered the mummified remains of humans, they also found the bodies of crocodiles that were preserved, but not always in the same way as humans. For example, in 2019, while excavating the undisturbed tomb at Kubbat el-Hawa, a necropolis on the west bank of the Nile River, 10 reptiles were found to be mummified without resin or evisceration of the remains, which are 2 main components of the process of mummification. However, discovering fragments of mummified crocodiles, not just 10 well-preserved specimens, is not uncommon for researchers, and it is believed that ancient humans preserved the animals as sacred offerings, as food for the afterlife or for reincarnations of specific deities. Crocodiles in particular were associated with Sobek, the creator of the Nile and a powerful fertility god. Cleopatra's beauty. When talking about Cleopatra, it is inevitable to mention her beauty. However, there is a problem. Most of the information about her queen comes from the Romans, who considered her a rival to her. Imagine that your jealous colleague or your unpleasant neighbor characterizes you. How truthful would she be? The same thing happened with Cleopatra. However, the Romans never found the tomb of the queen herself. According to legend, Cleopatra tried to trick everyone by hiding her final resting place so it would never be discovered, and considering the tomb has yet to be found, she might have succeeded. However, this could soon change with the discovery of Taposiris Magna. If the tunnels lead to a tomb, it could belong to Cleopatra and her husband, Mark Antony. According to Plutarch, when Octavian Augustus invaded Egypt with his Roman armies and captured Alexandria, Mark Antony committed suicide by falling on his sword and died in the arms of Cleopatra, who was later buried next to him in the mausoleum. 2 weeks later, Queen Cleopatra followed the same fate to offer him tribute and was bitten by a poisonous snake. A tragic love story and all that. Until now, no other tomb of a ruler from the Ptolemaic dynasty, that is, those who ruled Egypt after Alexander the Great, has been found. All the tombs are said to be in the palatial neighborhood of Alexandria and appear to be submerged, just like the rest of the area.